All right. I'm Scotty. You're not. Taken 2 is the only other one of these that I've seen back when I first got the DVD and stuff. Okay. So watching this, I don't know. Okay. This movie, like, I watched the first one, I was gripped. Like, I was at work, but, like, I kept wanting to go back and finish watching it. I want to see where it goes. This lost my attention quite a few times. I started talking to myself about how I used to rearrange my apartment. In case you want to know, at one point, uh, no, not there, where the TV is, I had couch going this way along there. Not that one, it was the smaller ones that love seat. 2 chairs. I started thinking about that. And I started thinking about when I had the couch again, not that one, a smaller one in there, and the bed kind of turned the other way. It had a little, like a dorm room of sorts, or like my bedroom when I was at my mom's, sort of thing. Where and then I started thinking about that, and not about the movie because it took me out of it. Okay, so the story here is of Bryan Mills. This is a few years after the previous film. He's still concerned about his daughter. She's learning how to drive. 28-year-old learning how to drive. But she learned how to drive because at this point she's only like 19, which is weird that she doesn't know how to drive already. I guess I don't know how to drive, so I shouldn't be talking. But yeah, I'm a 36. I don't know how to drive. That's fine with it. But and so he has a security job in Istanbul, and his ex-wife, who's going through a divorce with the guy Stuart, who was not played by Dougray Scott in the first film. He's played by someone else. Apparently, Dougray Scott plays him in the third film, because I was looking at each one to see the cast and the story. I'm like, did Dougray Scott play him in the first one? He didn't. Someone else. I don't know why they changed the actor, because I haven't seen the third one yet, but he's not in this film. He's just mentioned. And so Lenny and Kim join him in Istanbul for vacation. Istanbul. Apparently a vacation spot. I don't know. There's a pool at the place. But while they're there, some people connected to people from the first film show up and kidnap Bryan and Lenny. And Kim's able to get away, and so now it's trying to save the parents, I guess. Okay, so the villain in this film is the father of Marco from whatever the thing is. I try to memorize it. You remember the guy that said "good luck," but didn't really say "good luck" because it didn't sound the same. But it's that guy that he left attached to the chair and with the electricity going through him, which apparently killed him when his heart exploded. The heart exploded. Yeah, that's what we find out. And so this guy is out for revenge. And am I wrong, or is this that most important man in the world guy? And so I don't always drink, but when I do, he's that guy. Isn't that guy? I swear it's that guy. But yeah, it looks like him anyway. But yeah, so the best part of the first film was Bryan Mills was Liam Neeson kicking ass. So what do we have here? He's tied up and giving his daughter directions, and somehow he's able to figure out how to triangulate where he is by having her throw grenades into the air so he can hear the explosions. At one point, she's like, go to the roof. Okay, so what happens is they get kidnapped. He knows they're gonna get taken, and I like her response. He's like, honey, your mother and I are going to get taken. She's like, oh no. The look on her face, like, oh God, like it's happening again. And so he's like tied up, and then these are the worst like criminals ever. They tie him up, and then they leave him, and so he goes and he finds this little square-shaped cell phone thing. He tries to call Sam, Leland Orser's character from the first film. Leland Orser is credited in this film, but we don't see him. We just hear his voice. That's how he's credited. You don't know. He's the French guy from Alien Resurrection and gets that. There's a thing inside of him. He's that guy. He's been in other things, but that's how I remember him. He's the guy from Alien Resurrection. Has the. Am I going to die? That guy. But yeah, that's Leland Orser's credit is a message where he's like, hey Sam, I'm not home right now. So then he calls his daughter and instructs her, tells her, hey, we also meet her boyfriend later, I should mention. He's an important character apparently. Like he is like trying to unbutton her blouse and just trying to go down. But when she answers the door, it's all buttoned up again. Oh, she buttons it up off screen or whatever. But yeah. But yeah, so she's able to hide. She hides in a closet. It's very weird because she goes to her room, but they're there. So she goes into her dad's room, and then climbs the window to the other room, but then be back in her room. Is that her dad's room? I'm trying to think. I think she goes to her room and they find her, so she goes and go through the wall to her dad's room because that's where he has his little case of explosives. It's where he talks her into. He says, "Go to the balcony. I want you to pull the pin of the grenade, throw the grenade. I want you to count 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3, and then throw it." He goes, "You see anything?" And she says, "This is the car park. Anyone there?" "No." "There's a car there." And it blows the fuck up. She throws it. It goes underneath the car, blows that up. And then later has her throw more. Like, just that. And he can now triangle himself. There's a scene where he's got a hood over his head and they're kidnapping him and taking him. He's counting. Stop. 4, 9, 10. Stop. He's counting. I'm like, what is he doing? He's like Superman now. He's like a super agent where he can calculate exactly where he is, triangulate himself. Yeah. So, when he and his wife are going to get kidnapped, right? He tells his wife, you got to do this. You got to go down, go to the back of the store, go down the right. There'll be a way, and you can get back, get Kim, go to the U.S. Embassy. American Embassy, U.S. Embassy. It says U.S. Embassy on the computer or his phone or whatever, the GPS thing, but he says American Embassy. Same thing, but still. But of course, when she goes to where she's supposed to, like the alley's supposed to get through, she says door. It's not door, it's bars. There's a bar, maybe it's a door, I don't know. It's a bar in the way, a gate. It's a gate. It's a bar gate. She can't get through. So of course she gets kidnapped, and he sees her kidnapped, and he's like, we're going to get taken. And that's when you gotta say the line. And so now he's this badass who killed a bunch of people in the first film just lets himself get taken. Sure, if you're confident you can get yourself out of it, fine. And then he tells her, Kim, to go to the U.S. Embassy. And she's like, no, I want to help. And I'm like, be safe. But no, she's got to be a badass like her father. And she helps him. Yeah. It doesn't help that the villains are terrible. So this guy, this Mr. Important guy in the world shows up. And he brings in the wife and he goes, they were going to do. Cuts her neck. They're going to put her upside down. And let her bleed to death. Is this a James Bond movie? And then what do? They leave. First of all, he's able to make this phone call. I bet he's left alone for like 20 minutes in real time. Or in movie time. 20 minutes movie time, not real time. He's able to make this phone call, set everything up, and then he hears them coming and he kind of dishes the phone a little bit. And then they do the thing with her, cut her neck, tip her upside down, and then leave. He's able to break the zip ties that is on his hands, and then he frees her so she doesn't bleed out to death. And then he uh, eventually reunites with his daughter. They steal a cab. Okay, so first of all, I was confused because he says, go to the roof and take a gun and 2 of the grenades. So and don't draw attention to yourself. So she goes to leave and she goes down. She goes in the stairwell. She goes down. I'm like, he said the roof. Apparently, he meant the roof of the shop where the mom went through, because he had her draw circumferences and stuff. I was like, okay, but he didn't say that. He just said, get out, go to the roof with a gun, and I will call you back. And the 2 grenades, and I'll call you back. But she goes to the roof of the gift shop. I don't remember him saying go to the roof of the gift shop. He said the roof. By the way, on the way out, she steals someone's clothes. I don't know. Everything is done. She could just go to her room and change her clothes. I don't know. But she, But eventually they reunite. They steal a cab because that's smart. We get a bunch of action sequences that are horribly edited because this is the same director as Transporter 3. Those action scenes weren't edited very well either. It's also my least favorite Transporter movie, but it's not terrible. I don't think it's terrible. I can't remember anything. Is that the one with the kid? That's the second one. The first one is the one with the girl. The second one is the one with the kid. I don't remember anything about the third one. I'd have to look at the back of the thing to know. And I don't want to do that. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, can't remember the Transporter 3. So, but yeah. And of course, you know what's going to happen. Now that he's out, he's kicking ass. Horribly edited ass. Most of this, where he's supposed to be choking people, it just looks like he's trying to fix their back or something. He's just holding, I don't know, because everything is edited so terribly. And then you have, I'm all for the daughter kicking ass, but she really does anything other than trying to help him. Her job is to save him. So that's what she does. And then they save Lenore, who's, safe, was bleeding out, but she's fine. And then he gives the killer guy, he's like, I'll give you a chance. You can go away. You can forget about this. You can have your sons and your grandsons, and you can forget all about this. But then the guy tries to shoot at him with a gun that wasn't loaded because he took the bullets out. And that's when he realizes he's never going to get with the vendetta, so he kills the guy. The day is a happy ending, I guess. It's a happy ending. We have ice cream with the boyfriend, Jamie. Jamie! I get the Doberman doll! Not him. Looks kind of like Jake Lloyd, but I don't think it's him. Kind of. But no, yeah. And so it's like, we get just don't shoot this one, Dad. A line. Which if I was the boyfriend, I'd be like, what? Shoot? What? What the fuck? Huh? Shoot? Shoot? Huh? Who's getting shot? What? I'd be very confused. But, yeah. It started out okay. I was like, okay, I'm with this. Because I forgot what it was. I'm like, okay, I think the wife gets kidnapped in this one, and he has to save her. They both get kidnapped. I'm like, oh. What? Wait, so you are taking the character from the first film who went to great lengths to save his daughter, kicked a lot of ass, killed a lot of people, and you're just going to chain him up for most of the runtime. At least half the runtime he's chained up. Eventually he gets free and kicks ass, but after a while, you're like, can we just get to that part now? You know what I mean? This wasn't terrible by any means. I'm going to give it the middle of the road. I just feel like after how kick-ass the first one was, this was sort of a letdown. You see Liam Neeson's grisly action thrillers, and you see this, and you're just like, even the name, Taken 2. Taken 2. It just doesn't really seem to roll off the tongue. Taken Part 2, Taken Again, Retaken, Taken Aback, Taken Back. Do 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 do, Taken Back. Oh yeah, yeah, Taken Back. Do 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 do, Taken Back. Retaken would be cool. Retaken. Taken Again. You know, maybe Taken Part 2 would work, especially with the way that the villain is the father, one of the villains from the last film. Taken Part 2 would work. It would, you know. So it's not Taken 2, it's Taken Part 2. So it's 2 parts. Then you can just end it, right? You just end it. And not give us a third film, which honestly, I couldn't remember why I didn't see the third film. Because I remember I watched these for the first time when the third one was coming out. And I was like, why didn't I go see the third film? It's because I watched this one and I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm interested in the third one now. So, but here, you know, we shall see. We shall see. We shall see with the third one, which I'm planning on doing today. Hopefully. I gotta fix dinner first, and then I'll put it on. But I'm hoping I can get it done today, because something comes out on Paramount Plus tomorrow that I want to watch and do a review for. That's right. But yeah, this movie, middle of the road. Middle of the road. So, what are your thoughts on Taken 2? Comment, comment below. Share, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.